ruling on the health care law, and he says it's time to move forward. Kind also broke with his party last week and voted to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt of Congress. Congressman Kind joins us on the satellite now from the House recording studio in Washington. Congressman, thanks very much for being with us. Let's talk about health care first. In all honesty, were you surprised by the Supreme Court's ruling?
No, Mike, I wasn't. I thought we were on sound constitutional basis in what we did with the legislation, and quite frankly, I was happy when I heard the court's decision because I was thinking right away about a 3-year-old little boy by the name of Henry who I'd had a chance to meet in western Wisconsin. His mom told me that before he was even born, he suffered a seizure in her womb, and therefore the first breath he took in life, they told them that he was uninsurable because he had a pre-existing condition. We as a nation are better than that. And I knew, and they knew, that with passage of the Affordable Care Act, that changed for little Henry and for 39,000 other children in western Wisconsin with pre-existing conditions. They can no longer be denied care, and families like that don't have to deplete their life savings just to ensure that their children get the health care that they need. And there's going to be a lot of work to implement this bill as we move forward in order to get the health information technology systems built so we can increase the efficiency and reduce error, change the way health care is delivered so it's more integrated and coordinated like our providers back home have been doing, and change the way we pay for health care so it's value-based, not volume-based, so we're getting a better bang for the dollar that we are spending. And that's vitally important to get this economy on track, creating good-paying jobs, and help our businesses be more competitive globally at the end of the day.
You last week said you were disappointed that the governor had said that he was not going to move forward with implementing this law until after the November election. He said, why should we do that when there's a possibility of a change in you know, who's controlling Washington? Why are you critical of that, given the political realities that exist?
Well, it's history repeating itself. I mean, I remember those southern governors, after the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act were passed, they were trying nullifying these federal laws, saying, I'm not going to comply in that. And we have an opportunity in Wisconsin, and I challenge Governor Walker to seize this moment to show the rest of the nation the Wisconsin way, how we can implement these health insurance exchanges, these purchasing pools, so that small businesses, family farmers, individuals finally have a place where they can choose amongst competing health care plans, and then coupled with tax credits to make it more affordable. If you look at the 50 million uninsured people in this country, the vast majority of them are working Americans in small businesses, on farms, or on their own, and this exchange is based on legislation I've introduced in the past. And every time I did it, Mike, I had an equal number of Republicans and Democrats supporting it because it makes sense. We should do it the Wisconsin way and show the rest of the nation how well it can be done.
Very briefly, is this law something you, a Democrat, can run on in the fall campaign, or is this still politically risky for a Democrat to fully embrace the health care law?
You know, not only will I be talking about that as we move forward, but I was running on it in the 2010 elections, talking about the provisions that were in it and the effect it was having on real people throughout western Wisconsin. The irony with this, Mike, it's been caught up in this political vortex, Obamacare and all this, but when you break out the individual pieces of this legislation, there is wide support amongst even Republicans and independents alike, because these are things that there aren't a lot of new ideas in it, and they've had bipartisan support in the past, but suddenly because President Obama has embraced it, it's become politically radioactive on the other side. And that's unfortunate, because we have to start coming together again as a state and as a nation, work together to find common ground, to change a health care system that's in desperate need of reform and that's been failing too many Americans for too long.
I have to have your vote on Thursday to hold Attorney General Holder in contempt of Congress. You were one of only a few Democrats to do that, the only Democrat on the Wisconsin delegation to do that. Some Democrats are obviously not going to be happy with you for that vote. Why did you find it necessary to hold the Attorney General in contempt?
Well, first of all, Mike, it's never easy, you know, to have to stand up to a Democratic president or even your own caucus on a principled stand. But listen, I'm a former special prosecutor in Wisconsin. I've always believed that more information, not less, is the quickest way to getting to the truth. And unless it involves confidential secrets, state secrets involving national security interests, I believe in more sunshine, more transparency in our democracy, not less. And I've been consistent on this issue. I was highly critical of President Bush when he was invoking privilege when they were firing U.S. attorneys for refusing to investigate bogus voter fraud charges. And I was critical of that administration. So it doesn't matter to me whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. We need more sunshine, more transparency in our democracy. And after conversations with the Attorney General on this issue, I didn't get a good explanation why he was drawing the line as far as producing the documents that were requested. We need that information in Congress, and the American people should see what happened with this failed gun program.
Congressman Ron Kind, the Democrat from La Crosse, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks, Mike. Anytime.
When we come back, why